people communicate. In fact, everywhere in the world, wherever business is done or not done, people are communicating. Even if you go to a shopkeeper and ask him for a toothpaste or a bar of soap, that is also part of business communication. It's a customer talking to a shopkeeper, a buyer talking to a seller. So everything that is done in business, all communication that is done in business can be termed as business communication. And everything that you do should have a purpose. Unless you have a need, why would you communicate? So, unless you have a need, you would not communicate. Some of the purposes of business communication are explained in the next. One of the purposes of business communication is to inform and explain. Just general queries, just general explanations. Supposing you've gone to a departmental store and you ask for something. Now that person would inform you, sir, third row, left side, it's available there. Or he might go there with you, take out that thing and give it to you or put it in your basket. If you ask for an explanation about something, you're trying to buy something and you say, okay, does this work in this manner? What is the battery life? An explanation would take place. In fact, a lot of times when you have these briefings in business organizations, these briefings are about informing and also explaining. You then need to continuously persuade and motivate. If you've gone selling something, if you're on a sales call, then you're constantly trying to persuade and motivate your customer to try your stuff, to visit your showroom, to, try out something. Before they buy, they're going to try. So you got to persuade and motivate so that they are motivated to try and then they are further motivated to buy. In fact, you will be constantly persuading and motivating your sales teams, your support staff, your service teams, so that they give off their best, so that your customer gets the best. So, persuasion and motivation, information and explanation, these are big parts of business communication. Without them, you cannot even think of business communication. Another big purpose of business communication is to create goodwill. Goodwill for your organization, goodwill for your business. You see so many ads coming out in newspapers. The big companies, would be spending, you know, big money. Happy Diwali to you, Happy Independence Day, Happy Republic Day. Uh, Congratulations, PV Sindhu, for the silver medal. Now, this is all, creating goodwill. If I write a small note to my customer saying thank you very much for having visited our showroom on this and date, and we really wish you the very best, and we hope our product also, comes up to your expectations. Or I send a note to a customer or a mail or a message to the customer on his or her birthday or on somebody's anniversary. Now, these are all goodwill creation messages. We also use business communication to establish credibility in the eyes of the customer, where we are trying to build faith, we're trying to win the faith of the consumer. So there also we use a lot of business communication. And of course, life, business, everything, has problems. So we would be using business communication or just, uh, other tools of problem solving along with that to solve problems. So communication is actually intrinsic. to all activities that you would do in business, none of the activities can be done without communication. So let's see how and why communication is so important, because you know your communication skills would actually make you stand apart from everyone else. There are people, and then there are more people, and the greater the number of people, the greater the differentiation that can be brought about by your communication skills. People who communicate effectively, now I'm not talking about somebody being a great orator. I'm not saying you should speak like those, you know, television anchors, newscasters, film stars. No, speak like yourself. But the problem is, if you're not effective, you're not going to get across. So when I say good communicator, I mean effective communicator. Somebody who can understand what others are saying and who's able to make others understand what he or she wants to convey. See, every employer looks for traits in an employee: sincerity, loyalty, integrity, honesty. These being the top traits everyone is looking for. But communication skills, they are absolutely very, very important. The base of your character, the personality, would be sincerity, loyalty, and integrity. If you don't have those three, nobody is going to hire you. But if you have those three and you have good communication skills, well, those who have hired you would also be able to give you a boost. Your career growth will take place, and you would be somebody who would be, admired, somebody who would be sought, somebody who would be successful in their careers. So this is very, very important. Now, who doesn't want to be a leader? All of us want to be leaders. So let's see, how communication is important for leadership in business, in life, you know, work that you may be in. Well, to be a good business leader, you need to deal with people. To be a good anything, not just a business leader, you need to deal with people. To deal with people, you need extremely good interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are skills that you require when dealing with people. So, interpersonal communication, communication between people, requires business communication skills. To be a business leader, you need to have exceptional writing skills. If you can write well, see, the words, the dictionary, grammar, everything is available to everyone. But there are so many people who are able to write so well. In very few words, they are able to convey so much. They get more meaning out of words. That is where you have to go if you want to become a business leader. Nobody has the time today for very long speeches, for very long letters, for very long reports, for very long mails, for very long memos. No. So, exceptional writing skills would give you tremendous effectiveness along with conciseness. You understand? Complete but precise. Complete but concise. Apart from this, to be a good business leader, you need to have excellent presentation skills. Now, presentation skills are some of the most sought after skills. Whenever you have to stand up in front of an audience and speak, well, that's called presenting. It's not just presentations using a projector. Even without a projector, if you're presenting a concept to them, an idea to them, that too is a presentation. So you need to have excellent skills of presentation. And if you learn to present yourself well, then everything else that you present will go down well with your audience. Apart from this, there is something called negotiation in business. Now, see, it cannot always be that you would go to someone with some proposal and that would be accepted. Most of the time, there would be a negotiation, and communication skills play a huge role in negotiation. Listening skills play a huge role in negotiation. Speaking skills play a huge role in negotiation. So, all these activities require communication skills. So, to be a good business leader, you need to have strong communication skills. You need to have effectiveness in communication. Let's now look at a couple of examples of business communication. Interviews, presentations, speeches. These days, we have businesses spanning continents. Somebody is seated here and he's doing business with people from 27 countries. Their video conferences, meetings over the video, or when you go there, you travel there. All this is part of your business life, and all this is part of business communication. So, everything that is part of business life is also part of business communication. Telephone conversations, online chats where you only type, that person types, you type, that person types, you know, online chats, messages. There are so many, different mediums of sending a message. You use WhatsApp, you use so many other similar apps, SMS, other communication, you send mails also. So the list is endless. Letters, memos, reports, emails, faxes, voicemail, web pages, posts, everything is business communication. Enquiries, complaints, replies, sales letters, brochures, press releases, you name it. Everything is part of business communication. Let's now look at the communication network in an you know there is an organization chart. Even in very small organizations, you would have a smaller organization chart, maybe less number of levels and laterals also, but otherwise you'd have a chart. And normally communication flow, it follows the chart. Upward, downward, horizontal, you know, it would be followed by various, needs. This channel network also controls individual and group behavior. Let's take a very small example. If the head of the organization has thought about something and wants that to be followed by everyone, then that diktat might take the form of some kind of an instruction, which is a policy, a procedure, a rule, or whatever, which is coming downward from the top. All kinds of instructions, they flow downward. All feedback will go upwards. Complaints will go upwards. Strategy will come downwards. Information about compliance, about what has happened, all this will go upwards. So this is how things are going to be moving. All right. So this is how we work on. Well, the process of communication, it certainly requires a sender and a receiver, somebody on the other side. So the sender would actually be encoding the message. This is, stitching your message together. How you want to compose your message. How do you want to create your message? So that is called encoding. And then you select a proper channel. Now each channel would have its limitations. Supposing I want to tweet, so tweet will say, okay, only this many characters. If I want to send an SMS, SMS will say, okay, this many characters. All the carriers and others, they have their limitations. If it's longer, it gets converted into two SMSs. So all those things, each channel would have its own limitations. Emails also would have, only this many MB of attachments. So limitations of channel, of course, are part of our selection of channel. Then we send the message. Once we have encoded, once we have selected the channel, we send the message. When the message is sent, it reaches the receiver. When it reaches the receiver is going to try to understand the message. That is decoding. Okay, let me see, let me read, let me understand, let me see. If I have to refer to something, let me refer, let me find out. Okay, let me clarify. And he's trying to decode the message. Then he would also decide and he would say, okay, I want to send feedback, so let me also select a channel. Like the sender selected a channel, the receiver would also like to select a channel, and then that channel would be used to send you the feedback. Now between the sender and the receiver, there's going to be a lot of disturbance, which is also called noise. There's also going to be some gap in understanding, lack of understanding. So there are three basic, you know, shortcomings between the sender's intentions and the receiver's receptivity. One, channel limitations. Two, the disturbances surrounding the sender and the receiver, and lack of understanding. Everything cannot be understood exactly the same way that a sender meant. Everybody's perception is different. Everybody's filters are different. All right. So always allow for this gap or this loss of meaning. And don't get frustrated if people have not understood what you wanted to exactly convey. All right. Now, this process is followed in the formal communication network, upward, downward, everything, horizontal, vertical, whatever going on. But do you know that there is an informal communication network which goes in, comes out, it is all pervasive. Everybody is part of it. And that communication network is what we are going to talk about now. In every organization, the top man would also be talking to his driver while driving to work. He would ask the driver, and yeah, how's everything going? Any news? What were people saying? And the driver will tell him something. That's part of. Now, that doesn't follow any upward, downward, horizontal, vertical thing. It's away from the organization chart, and it is the grapevine which grows in all directions like a grapevine, which defies any structure. So it's unstructured, informal, and everyone is part of it. So a lot of stuff appears on the grapevine. A lot of it may be hearsay, maybe rumors only, may not be correct, but a lot of it may be. So if a big transfer is about to happen, or somebody is going to be joining, or somebody is going to be leaving, it would come on the grapevine from somewhere. It will get leaked. And then sometimes they make a mountain out of a molehill. So grapevine is a informal communication network, exists almost everywhere. All right. Now let's look at actual formal communication channels in the organization. Supposing, we spoke about this when we talk about downward, policies, assignments, they would come downwards. Problems, results, they would go upwards. You would be sending your problems up for solutions. You would be sending your reports, your results up for appraisal. And then downward will come appraisal. When you send your results, there will be appraisal, and there will also be criticism. So this is how the communication network within the organization would be working. Now, one kind of communication which continues all the time and which is very, very, very important is interdepartmental coordination. Various activities are interrelated. There are many departments which are serving most departments. Say HR department has to have interrelated activity with almost every department. Finance department, admin, HR. There'll be so many departments, which would have interdepartmental activities going on. So horizontal communication is required for such activities. You may not come under that person directly, but that person belongs to another department which works together with you, and you have to horizontally go and communicate with them. So problem solving, team building, better overall results, they come only from excellent horizontal communication as well. So it's not just upward, downward which is important. Horizontal is equally important. It may be more important, and bigger organizations, it's most important. All right. So communication is happening in all directions. In organizations, it is structured and formal. There is also an informal network which is going on. Now let us look at the all that we have learned. In this section, we learned why communication is so important. We learned that for everything that we do in business, we need to communicate. That's why communication is so important. We learned about the various purposes of communication in business: inform, explain, persuade, motivate, create goodwill, solve problems, do this, do that. For everything, you require business communication. And we also learned about the network, how communication flows. It follows the organization chart. There's upward communication, there's downward communication, there's horizontal communication. And see, all this, I want you to have an appreciation of communication in an organization, how it goes on, how it forms a backbone, how without communication there cannot be understanding, how without communication there cannot be decision making, how without communication there cannot be problem solving, how without communication there cannot be persuasion and motivation. So communication is an extremely important component of business. And if you're able to get your communication right, believe me, you are on the way to getting most things right. Now, having gone through this, presentation, I invite you to take the quiz now. So go through the quiz, take it as many times as you want, and we'll continue to add content, to help you understand things better. All right, and you can send me messages, which I would certainly like to use to improve what we are doing for you. Thank you for being so patient, and all the best.